reporting on the games you love by people who love to game. The MMO Reporter Network.
Well, thank you for coming today. I'm excited to hang out with you all. How about you guys? Are you excited? Now, can you believe it has been 1 year since the launch of Guild Wars? And what a year it's been. So, because of you, Guild Wars 2 is the fastest selling MMO of all time. And because of you, Guild Wars 2 is getting more and more popular with each new release we do. So Tyria is your world. We're doing this for you. And I want to make that clear, and I want to talk about how we're doing it. So first of all, we want to put you in the driver's seat. We want you to shape the future of Tyria. And you see that in the game. You see it with cutthroat politics. You voted for the content that you want to see, and we're building it for you. It doesn't get much more straightforward than that. And you see it here today. And I want to make this clear. ArenaNet is through and through focused on you, focused on the fans, focused on the community. And so we love the opportunity like this to hang out with you and talk with you guys all day about how you want to see us shape the future of Tyria. We have a motto at ArenaNet. We say, everyone who's a fan of Guild Wars 2 should have a friend at ArenaNet. Well, we brought 60 devs to hang out with you guys today. So hopefully you already have friends, but if you don't, you're going to make friends with the ArenaNet devs today. Well, we have a lot of exciting stuff for you today. First of all, you know you're all going to be getting to play the next release, Super Adventure Box. We have a panel of developers here. 8 of our lead developers will be talking to you about every aspect of the game. We have the PvP Invitational Tournament, the finals here today. We have Team Car Crash from Europe. Car Crash represent. And we have Team Sync from America. Players from 6 different countries here and fighting for $10,000 in cash prizes today. Okay, we have something else for you too. You guys might have seen a special thing that we wanted to show you. Well, I gotta say, it's pretty exciting. Normally we're pretty secretive about upcoming releases. Today you get to see and play not only this upcoming release, but also the one after that. And it's a pretty special release. And so I want to talk to you about it. I want to do a little setup first, okay? So we talk all the time about building the living world of Guild Wars 2. You know, it was our core vision from the beginning of the game that this would be the dynamic living world where the actions of players change the world around them, right? And you guys have come together in huge numbers. Look at the current release, Clockwork Chaos. Wow, now that culling is gone from the game, we can really see how many people there are in the world fighting together, you know, to fend off Scarlet's invasions. It's fantastic, and we want you to come together and for your actions to change the world. Now, one thing that we have to get right to do this is we have to make it so that you have true challenge out there in the living world. Right? What do you guys think? Are you ready for an ultimate challenge? Yeah. hundreds of people coming together could overwhelm anything in the open world. What do you think? Can you overwhelm just about everything in the open world? So that can't stand, right? So we had a team working behind the scenes for a long time now on building the ultimate challenge. We've heard you loud and clear that what you need a challenge in the open world that has strategy, the tactics, coordination, that you have to not just overwhelm the challenge, but really, really work together to take down. Are you ready for that kind of challenge? Okay, so, what do you think of Tequatl the Sunless? He was one of the most badass monsters in the game when we shipped the game, and you owned him! So he is back now with a vengeance. And this time, he is the ultimate challenge. This time, it takes not only a mass of players, but a mass of players coordinating effectively, using strategy to take on this ultimate challenge. So let me give you a little bit of a preview here of the new Tequatl the Sunless.
It has been gathering power in the depths. It is faster, stronger, deadly, and it has returned to devour and destroy.
He is hands down the most badass monster in the entire game now. And it's going to take you and a lot of your friends and a lot of coordination and strategy to take him down. And 60 of you are holding tickets now that are going to allow you to come up and play in this world first. Be the first ones to ever tackle the new Tequatl. Okay, thank you everyone for coming today. I hope you all have a lot of fun here today. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Mike, Crystal, and Melina to give you the first walkthrough of the new Tequatl. Thank you.
Please visit the computers on the far side. Right now, and we'll get the show underway. So my name is Mike Zadorozhna. I'm one of the game design leads working on Guild Wars 2. With me is Crystal Reed, who's been the designer who's been really tackling this challenge and really trying to bring this massive experience to you guys. And our driver today is Melina, who's going to be helping us walk through this and show off all the amazing things these guys have been doing for the past 4 months. Like Mo said, we really wanted to really take the challenge to the next level and really bring in that coordination that we were kind of hoping would be there at launch, and then you guys really kind of overran it and kind of, yeah. So we're really excited about this. Let's see, we should get this going. So let's talk about your inspiration for this. Like, what were you looking at when you were trying to re-envision what Tequatl was going to be?
I think we wanted to keep a lot of the original stuff there because players have fought him before, and so we just wanted to punch up those elements that were already there. That's the mega laser and the pilot turrets that are around the swamp. We're going to kick this off here. We're going to try to defeat this dragon.
So people who have seen this area before are going to notice a couple of new things. Things like we now have these jump pads that have been added to help players get to a new secondary mechanic that we've been talking about with the radar and counter. We looked at everything from the potentials that he brings up, the ads that are that come during this encounter, the highlight turrets themselves, and everything is just we kind of rebuilt this thing from the ground up. And so we have some players back in the studio, and we've gotten some help from our office team to kind of really show this off because This is one of those things where you're definitely going to need more than 80 players who are well geared, that are over level 65 in this area, and can really kind of coordinate the challenge is going to be here.
All right, and it looks like he's coming along there in the water.
There's something in the water.
Okay, so we're going to start off here. We're going to see some of the new skills that he does. He's probably going to start off with a shockwave. There it is. You can jump over that and hold on to avoid the damage. And that mechanic is actually going to evolve over time, and at 50%, it's actually going to get taller, and you won't be able to jump over it, and you'll have to run away instead. The figures here got updated a little as well. They now have these poison puddles that they throw down. You can see them all there underneath his front feet. They just end up creating some dead zones where players can't actually stand.
So is there anything that players can do to kind of combat the fact that he's going to be making a lot of the playable space not usable?
Yeah, absolutely. So Melina's going to jump into one of the highlight turrets here, and you can see skill 3 here is called Poison Cleanse. If she uses that on the poison puddle, she'll be able to clean that up and create some safe areas for her friends to play and to fight the dragon in.
So why don't you walk us through the other 4 skills that are on this bar?
Okay, so if you look at Tequatl himself, he's got a buff called Hardened Scales. This stacks over time, and if that maxes out, he's going to summon his bone walls and go invulnerable, and this is going to waste a lot of your time. As you can see, there's an event timer now. He's not going to stick around forever for you to defeat him. So skill number 2 on the turret is called Scale Penetration, and that will remove those stacks. On top of that, skills 4 and 5, it's a Hylic Elixir and a Hylic Salve. And you can take those and throw those off into your players in large groups, and it'll buff them and give them might and fury, quickness and protection to help them out while they're standing out there.
So this really kind of goes back to the idea that we want people who are on the turrets not only doing things that are helping change the fight on him, but also being able to buff other players. So you get coordinated groups who are gathering around, get buffed together, and then spreading back out, because he's got a bunch of different attacks where he's going to be focusing on those large groups.
Yeah, exactly. And you're going to need to take players who can stay back and help the turret people and keep them protected. As you can see, Melina just lost her turret here, so we probably need to send a few resources back to help her on the turret.
One of the other players here picked up one of the repair handlers, was able to get it back in. We've added the turrets remaining kind of a counter up there as part of the objective, so players know like if things are going kind of sour in the back.
Looks like we have failed to keep the stacks up, so the bone walls are up now. We're going to have to kill these if we want to continue attacking Tequatl.
So Tequatl himself goes invulnerable during this phase, so you really have to get those bone walls down to be able to get back into it. So this really just eats up the amount of time you have working on him.
And this is going to get back to where the players need to work together. Having players attacking Tequatl, having players on the turrets to keep the stack off Tequatl, but also buff the players who are attacking him, and then other players who are protecting the players who are on the turrets.
So while they continue to work on this, one of the things that we are going to be adding as part of this update is the new looking for group system that we've added in. So Melina, can you show us that real quick? So some of this stuff is a little bit of basic work, for player versus players, for the team arenas, the customer arenas, and then each of the individual maps for the borderlands. Now, you'll notice in some of these things where it says, like, in this case, Amber Walk, which is the server we're currently playing on, or under Living Wolf for the dungeon where it says Cross World. Looking for group is data center wide. So this is everybody in your region. You're going to be seeing anybody in North America if you're a North American player, and you'll be able to join these groups on the fly. The specific ones where it's server specific is like World versus World, where you can't necessarily play with other people, or the open world content. Like if you were going to do a small invasion run on your own server, this gives you can look for things specifically for your individual server. But overall, we're definitely unlocking everything so you can actually get access to everybody who's out there. The other nice thing about this is you'll notice that like some of these parties have started to gray out. These are ones that have already filled up. But we're basically showing you off, who's in them, which class is already there. We give you a custom description that players can choose in terms of what they want to look for. So if you're doing dungeons for a speedrun, you can put that in there and you can specifically go out there and look for it. The nice thing about the system is that it supports parties looking for groups as well. It will only show you other parties that are groups that you can merge with. So if you're with a party of 2, it'll show you anybody who's like party of 3 or less, and it completely supports the party merging aspect of that. Woo! All right, so it looks like things are going not exactly super great for our fat team here. So why don't we help them along a little bit so we can see some of the other. But as you can see, even as these, this group is, we've got 20 players here who aren't necessarily nearly as organized as what you're going to see online when the commanders get involved. So it is a really challenging encounter. We definitely wanted to push it so that you really do rely on people being able to buff each other. One of the things that you've seen is he still has this traditional fear that he'll do, and that's really punishing for players if you're not having other people who are breaking them out.
I even need some players on those turrets. Those bone balls keep coming up. Watch out, it usually does a shockwave come right out of those bone walls, and that usually knocks a bunch of players around.
So there's a bunch of different ads that are going to spawn during this encounter. Some of them are going to go directly for the turrets and the people who are on there, but there's also some in the back that will cause problems for players who are hanging out there. We definitely wanted to try and force players to be in the more aggressive approach towards the front of it when they're attacking.
Oh my gosh. It's not how we do things around here. Okay, so we've hit 75%. Tequatl is getting a little bored with us and he's taken off. So this other event kicks off where we have to defend the batteries. And great rewards could be had for us if we successfully defend the battery. And what we're going to have to do is get everyone to start going over there to correct these 3 batteries that charge with a mega laser. And everyone loves jump pads. Each of these 3 battery sites is a little different, so you can actually take some of those different types of roles with you. So this is the East Battery vent, and a bunch of loaded creepers are going to slowly walk towards the battery, and if they get there, they're going to explode. So any sort of crowd control abilities you have are really helpful here. So you can lock these guys down and kill them before they get to the battery.
So notice this event started a secondary event here down below, which you basically have to defend for about a minute and a half. Not just the laser, but also now the 3 batteries that are charging. And it looks like things are getting a little icy. Come on, guys, you can hold out.
Well, I might do it. I don't know. I'm getting close. Yeah, so if you head to the North Battery site here, so this one's a little different. We have the Quadrant and the Undead Hylok attacking this area, and there are all these veteran grubs that spawn. There's actually a bunch of grub holes that are all located around the area, and if you can lock those holes down and prevent the grubs from spawning, you won't have to deal with them. But it will require you to spread out all over the place and keep those holes covered up. We're almost out of time here. It looks like you guys are actually going to succeed this. Now, if Tequatl returns, you should get a shot out of the sky from the mega laser, and this will give you a period of time where you get to do increased damage on him, while he's weakened. He's going to go weaken here, but you guys left a lot of fingers up going into that event, so you have to be careful. They're going to be throwing poison, so we'll definitely need some people on those turrets to clean up this area down here so players can take advantage of the increased DPS time on him.
And just like most of the bosses we've been doing more recently, this Now that we've gotten 25% of the way through, the phase has changed and some of the mechanics are a little bit different.
They are a little different. Alright, so this is typically where he would normally summon the fingers, but you need to watch out. There's also a new ability he's going to start doing now called Vortex. And if you get caught in this vortex, it's going to pull you into a large underground room. And you need to swim out of there quickly because you're going to take damage over time while you stay in there. Elena has successfully avoided it, you see.
You've had practice of this, haven't you?
Where's your fear break?
Yeah. So one of the things about this is because we want to make this really a lot more punishing, more of the waypoints in this area are going to be deactivated during this encounter. So you really need to coordinate getting people back up and making sure that you have as many people as possible in the encounter.
And so the immediate waypoint that's in the area is Winter Coast waypoint is contested, so you can't use that during the fight. So anytime someone gets downed, you're going to have to make a decision. You can run back if you want from either the waypoints, the Rue, Carebriar waypoints. But that's probably going to take you to combat for about 60 seconds or so, and it's up to you whether you want to make that run back or to wait around until you get a res from someone else. So it's really, really important that you get on those down players right away and bring them back up. Save yourselves. It's too many.
That's teamwork right there. You see too many resurrectors. See if you can find our world origins. Oh, there it is.
Yeah. Oh, you got caught. Alright, so she needs to swim out of this room quickly because she's just taking constant damage over time while she stays in here.
So this is one of those things that's another AoE that's going to show up on the ground. You just need to make sure that you're constantly moving and staying out of it. It's one of his more punishing attacks he's going to do for players who are moving up. We're trying to take advantage of like the elixir and the cell coming off of the turrets. So while we're working on this, what do you think was like the biggest change that you wanted to make for this, that players would really walk away remembering this encounter?
We definitely really wanted to make it so that you couldn't ignore other elements of the fight, and that would basically be mega laser events and the highlighter turrets. They kind of just really sit there, and you don't necessarily need to use them to defeat the fight, but they are a cool element to it. So we wanted to really tie those into the fight a lot and make them really fun. So, the turrets, buffing other players helps out your team. Taking out the scales and preventing the bone walls also helps out your team.
You were expecting her to say back down, didn't you?
Oh, did you die? Ah, I missed it.
To be fair, she was only in the down state.
Well, that qualifies.
So it looks like the group's having a little bit of trouble in the turrets because we're missing one of them.
There's also a brand new set of achievements that go with this fight that are going to require you to work together with everyone who's out here. Like the shockwave, for example. If you jump over that 10 times, you'll be able to unlock an achievement. And the eventual reward for it is a title called the Sunbringer.
So because this is coming as part of our Living Worlds releases, we've added a whole set of achievements. There's also a unique reward that you'll see more about as we get closer to launch. But we definitely wanted to make it approachable by anybody who can come and see this, the redesigned encounter and really get a chance to try out some of these things. Looking long term, this is definitely the kind of something we'd like to see us do for all of the individual giant world bosses that we have. We want to really kind of push players and challenge them. We want them to enjoy these encounters and have a very memorable experience with it. So things like the time limit is something that we're definitely going to be doing in the future. We're really excited to see how far we can push and see how much of a challenge we can give to you guys and what you can do with this.
As it looks like you can see some players are healing off here a little bit, and they're starting to take care of the creatures that spawn. With the sole purpose of taking down those turrets, and that's helping out the turret have a lot higher uptime so they can continue to take those scales off. Like it looks like we haven't seen a bone ball somewhere in a little while, so the players are being much better about that. Oh, I spoke way too soon. Just kidding.
Well, they're getting better at getting the bone balls down.
They are getting better. They're staying down for a longer period of time, which is good.
Right, so you guys got about 90 seconds. Somehow I don't think you're going to be able to do it.
Well, let's look at cheats again. Poison here. Who's on those turrets? You guys need to clean up that poison. It's creating some zones where the players won't stand. Yes, back down!
So we wouldn't have wanted to put this much challenge before you guys without giving you some sort of reward associated with this. Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so we've actually gone and overhauled all of his rewards. One of the big changes you'll notice is that all the rewards are going to be awarded to you when the event is over. So all these undead that are coming up and attacking, they don't drop anything. So you don't have to worry about running around trying to loot a bunch of corpses while you're also trying to fight the boss. Just focus on the boss and the encounter itself. In terms of rewards, this guy actually has a chance to drop the new Ascended weapons. And on top of the Ascended weapons, we got a brand new reskin of them that are exclusive to Tequatl. So the only place you can get it is from this fight. We've also taken him and shrunk him down to about 0.1% of his original size and turned him into a mini pet, which is again another rare drop that comes from him. And as you can see, we have failed. He's angry at the Mega Laser, thrown it, and he is leaving. These fish heads that have spawned everywhere are a condition of failing the event. They will explode and kill you. They will persist and stay there until he comes back and until you can actually defeat him.
We're super excited about this. We can't wait to put this in the hands of the players and see how long it takes for you guys to come up with the amazing strategies. All right, so this is the first look at Tequatl the Sunless, the revised version that will be coming later.